Hi everyone. Let's cover how we do cases, or at least that mini case format. So the case format is very common. You're given a problem to solve or information to interpret, and then asked to propose a set of recommendations. How to come up with those recommendations? That's the procedure we will practice. So when you practice writing or driving, you don't have to learn every single instance of what you may have to write or how you may have to turn. The case study works the same way. We give you an example so that you practice using the tool set, that is, the way of approaching the problem and coming up with solutions. So, in effect, using an instance of a marketing problem to practice the skills you can use for all sorts of other problems. And so we do a mini case method where we collect and interpret information, have you define the problems at hand, so go beyond those immediate symptoms, as we'll put it. So what I mean by symptoms is that often we sometimes just look at the surface of the problem. So flagging sales are a problem, but they're the symptom of a problem. The real problem is what's causing those sales numbers. Then you'll determine the alternative solutions based on the problems and to decide on criteria you will use when selecting a solution. So for us, our class, we tend to use a mini case study. So proper case studies, you're doing a lot of analysis and have a lot of data, but we're just using smaller versions. So what you'll be doing is in your team or join another team if needed, we're going to be in class taking a look at the 2.9 case study. It's posted to Blackboard. I encourage you to read it ahead of time. And then practice the case study method. What's your take on the problem? And based on what information might you need to further make a decision? What solution does your team choose? Why and by what criteria? So remember, you can focus on the information at hand, but you can also take into account other information you may know, maybe recent trends, the news, maybe your own experiences in the area. It is important to be able to sense what information you have and also what you don't have. That way you can make more informed decisions. That way you will know what types of contingency plans, say during control and evaluation, might make more sense. So this class will place a heavy emphasis on you recognizing the factors and criteria you use when making your decisions. So there's no one answer. Either whatever it is your answer is, stand in it and prove to us that your way is the way to go. And so next week, we're going to have you try it out. We're going to have you read case 2.3, and you're going to do the case study method for yourself using this general setup. The instructions for the write-up are on Blackboard. You'll want to have a copy of your write-up on hand for a week 3 class discussion. And discussions will likely have you mix and match. We'll see. So the case format goes thusly. So you have an introduction. You're going to cover your major dilemma. So what's the primary gap or problem? And especially what's driving our wedge for why we can't just make a decision. Potential alternatives, top recommendation, and concrete action plan. So in other words, what are some specific steps that you recommend we do based on your recommendation? And then any references and other appendices that might be helpful. So big tips, don't just summarize and repeat. We have the case on our hand, but what we want is your analysis. Go deeper. Know your assumptions. It's helpful to know why you're thinking of the ideas you're thinking. Because then we can, if we don't agree with your outcome, we can at least think, hey, what do we not agree with? Or what do we agree with? The big thing is make a choice and stand on it. State your case, make your case. And don't panic. This is just meant to act as a warm-up for the class. Interesting ideas are quite welcome. I know that there's not going to be one right answer. And so that's the idea, that we're going to have fun with it and just get those skills in good practice. So if you have any questions about the case analysis study, Please feel free to ask on the question and answer discussion board, email me, or again, we've got class and we'll be covering this and going over it. So, hope you have a good day or evening so far. Take care.